Play-ins start right here, right now. One team is going to get knocked out in this next match. I am George, joined by Scott. We're back again, Scott. I don't know. That intro was just a mess. Just like us.
Mate, honestly, APAC casting with you is just special. Honestly, it's a fun time.
Okay, elaborate.
Anything can happen. We're late at night. Jaws is a little delirious from lack of sleep, and anything can be said. And when you go into a banger match like this, honestly, we're starting off with the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Guangzhou Charge, and these are two struggling teams. You want to be delirious for these kind of games because anything can happen and you just want to embrace the memes.
Today is going to be full of cinema. That is for sure. Whether it's good or bad, I'm not sure what it's going to be. Yeah, Shanghai Dragons and the Guangzhou Charge, two struggling teams. I mean, Charge, how many games have they won in their last, 10 games, Scott?
It's a good question.
Good question. Really good question there. Shanghai Dragons also equally struggling. It's crazy coming from yesterday, Scott, and we did the Dallas Fuel game versus the Shanghai Dragons, and Dallas Fuel just smacked down the Shanghai Dragons. But there were bright spots for Dragons, and that was the scary thing, I think. And there's the scary thing for Charge, who I would say going into this series is the underdog.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we did see some upsides with the Shanghai Dragons. When you look at the Viper Genji, that's a win condition. They also seem to have obviously a clear idea of how they wanted to play the game. Yes, it didn't work against the Dallas Fuel, but there was an idea there. When you look at the other side of the coin, Guangzhou Charge, I think Jinmu was playing mystery heroes at some times. I saw some Ashe, I saw some Reaper, some Mei. Honestly, as soon as it felt like they came up against any form of hardship, it felt like they started to stumble and just making swaps, hoping it would just work, and it didn't.
Yeah, it just didn't come up aces for them at all. It came up twos is what it came up with. And what's quite scary too is that this is the end of the season. This is the end of the road for one of these two teams. We're double elimination bracket in the play-ins. They both already lost a game, and disastrously so as well, looking at what happened yesterday. Just need W's here. I mean, Shanghai Dragons trying to reclaim some former glory from previous years going in. I mean, the Guangzhou Charge, they always have been kind of this middle to lower end bracket team, especially during the regular season. There's definitely been some crazy placements from them from year to year, but this is where they just need to stick it out here, man. There needs to be some sort of crazy miracle coming in. Jimmy is gonna have,
which is possible.
Has to have the biggest breakfast of all time to wake up and just dominate here.
It would be perfect right now. In this moment, I'm here to cast it if Jimmy would ascend to levels that we've never seen before, because that's what the Charge need. Jack, you asked, when was the last time the Charge won a game? It was 9 games ago, 10 games ago, on July 14th against O2 Blast. And that's around the same time that they had the swap up of their roster. Choice of One, Piggy, they left the team, and ever since then, with the rebuild and they've gone fully Chinese roster, they just haven't been able to find wins. So backs against the wall. They lose this match, it'll be the end of their season, and then who knows where we go from there. So Guangzhou Charge, they need not just Jimmy to ascend, but the rest of the roster as well.
Oh yeah, here's your bracket as well. Of course, we are in the lower half of the bracket currently, and here's the matches today. Dynasty Fuel, that is going to be an absolute gigabanger. That's later on with Harry and Avril, but for right now, we're Dragons and the Charge. Yeah, a disastrous regular season, I think, for both teams. I mean, well, I guess not for Shanghai, very much in the mid-table for at least in the APAC region, but they need to reclaim some of that former glory, like I was saying, Scott. Just reclaim some of those heights that they saw. This is a team that went to the grand finals, and obviously a team that has been 0-40 way back when in season 1. But in more recent memory, they've had some decent seasons, but just this one is just not clicked for them. Whether that's the experimentation that's not working out, or whether that's just the rest of the competition leveling up. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. But this is the game that they need to show up in, Scott. They really do. The Shanghai Dragons, let's have a look at their roster. Then we'll go over the Guangzhou Charge in just a second. Same roster as yesterday. Heesu, Viper, Fate, Gangnam Jin, Nearest.
And if we look at their match from yesterday, obviously we talked about Viper, his Genji, how that is a win condition for the Dragons. But one of the things that they need to work on from their match yesterday is just keeping Fate alive. It really seemed like Fate, whether it was lack of healing, lack of support, or just individually stepping up too much, he was just getting punished time and time again. And that just led to such a huge disadvantage that they were never able to get back from. So hopefully they can look at that match, review it, and then come back in against what you would say is a weaker opponent in the Guangzhou Charge and put on a better performance.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Fate definitely struggled. I mean, maybe that was just Dallas Fuel exploiting that large weakness that the Shanghai Dragons have, or maybe that was Fate just kind of overstepping, being a little bit too confident. But confident is key in this game, is the knockouts. Here is the Guangzhou Charge, though. Again, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of faces that you wouldn't expect to be doing as poorly as they have done in the regular season. Jimmy the boy, Gaga, obviously far away in the support lineup, and Xerneas too.
Yeah, and you know, Jinmu is an X factor in a lot of regards. He has a very solid Genji, and they have a good game plan. They just need to stick to it. That's really the vibe that I got from them yesterday when we watched their match against the Seoul Dynasty. As soon as they ran into complications, they just started swapping up heroes in a way that didn't make sense, and almost an individualistic swap where players are just like, almost like in my ranked games where my DPS dies and then says, that's it, I'm going Hanzo. You know, Jimmy does that, and sometimes you just gotta stick to the script, keep playing what you know can work, and find adaptations other than just swapping heroes.
I mean, the meta is still pretty open, to be fair, but yeah, swapping up, losing ult charge, losing momentum, not a good thing. Here's some stats in the play-ins for Genji, Viper, and Jinmu head-to-head. I mean, Jinmu, look, less deaths, more Dragon Blade kills technically by 0.1, right? But damage, eliminations, final blows go to Viper here. So pretty even stats, but if Viper can kind of put up the performances he was doing yesterday, honestly, Scott, I'm not sure Jinmu can really stand up on the Genji at least.
It's not always just about the numbers when you're talking about Overwatch as well. Like, you could just see the impact, like first blood kills that you got from Viper. He's just opening up the fights, especially when he's just getting the nano boost. He doesn't even need the blade to find picks and really give the Shanghai Dragons that opening. So that is absolutely a threat that that the Charge are gonna have to deal with. But honestly, Jinmu is a wild card. You don't know. Maybe Jinmu could, you know, wake up, have a life game, and just absolutely take over the server. Maybe the Charge could play Pharah. Honestly, anything is on the table for this team at this point.
Okay. Like, at this
it's Ilios,
point,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just saying, at this point in the season, Charge, just pick your favorite hero. Because
well, no, okay.
No, okay. What's wrong with that?
Your
favorite hero is more often than not your strongest hero because you play it the most. Right,
I just talked them out of that, Jack. I just true.
Scott.
Okay, right, true. Okay, facts.
Yep. Okay. Yep. What if they come out with that? They're not swapping.
Okay, so what if they just came in, they just grab the script, grab every single playbook that they have, throw it in the bin, and Jinmu crunches it up, sets it on fire, and he's like, guys, hear me out. I used to do this great thing called play Pharah everywhere. What do you think?
Listen to me. I'm gonna play Pharah. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Unfortunately, Jinmu is not doing that, and he is very much sticking to the Overwatch League 2023 script. He is going Genji. Little Widowmaker action from Jimmy. Love to see it. And Viper on the Genji. So this is the big head-to-head here. Is just Jinmu versus Viper on the Genjis. Like, the amount of work Viper was doing yesterday was just disgusting stuff. He needs to stick to Jimmy too, actually. Kind of ignore Jinmu in a way. Just make sure Jimmy can't get any free shots now.
Interestingly enough, the Charge are playing the Winston Ana Brig as well. Very unconventional to what we've seen so far in this meta, and that will make it harder for Viper to play the game. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. So let's see if that is really the Charge plan.
Somehow Jinmu hit the lottery there. The lottery of missing every single right click in amongst like 5 enemy players. Don't know how none of those Shurikens hit, but they didn't. Rest in peace. There's the dive though. Good nade again. Oh, Jinmu with a double. Nice little reset there onto Hisu, and then straight onto Iris. Good start from the Charge. Dragons end up capping first, but it shouldn't matter. After Jinmu cleans up these kills, another nice nades. Far away, Jinmu. Alrighty, these are the players that are going to step up now. Like, nano boost available, 99% coming up. First ult of the game.
And maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe this is the Guangzhou Charge just being like, hey, Winston Ana Brig has worked for us in the past. It will make us more defensible. And now Shanghai Dragons are the ones that maybe are going to have to switch up their play style. You have to assume, though, that the Hisu Bastion is going to be able to put out so much damage that's going to make it hard for Gaga to play the game.
Nana boost. Okay, Iris dead. And there you go. There's the fight. Very early Nano. That was all those nades Farway was hitting too.
Yeah.
Instant value on those nades. Good amount of damage as well. And now Jinbu has a blade. They've got sights. They've got primal. They've got a lot of tools to work with now.
And the Charge are just making this look easy almost. The Shanghai Dragons just haven't been able to find any value, haven't been able to find any targets, and Farway's just hitting these nades time and time again. And with the sights, they're not going to be able to step up.
Jesus. I mean, with the Widow nerf too, worth keeping in mind, Jimmy has to play so much further forward as the Widowmaker, which does kind of suck. A lot of people can kind of run him down. Now, okay, sight's gone now, so the Dragons now make their move. But be careful though, Jimmy with a blade. Looks like they might want to go in just a moment. Maybe trying to wait for Hisu to pop the wheels mode. They are giving them a lot of space. Okay, there's wheels mode. Jimmy counting this one down, I would imagine. Viper now getting paid attention to. Deflect used as Hisu's in the front line. A little bit of trouble. Primal Rage has been hit, but so is Jinmu. Swinging, dashing into the back line. There is a giant ultimate from Fate. It's actually going to stop Jinmu doing any more damage, but with Gaina and Jim dead, who had the beat, Iris falling too. This is a charged round, Scott. Jinmu just tearing it up. Saw the stat screen at the start of the game, was like, actually, you know what, Viper? Take a back seat, son. There's the beat, there's the blade. Nice deflect, though. Where's the kills from Viper? He's 1 HP coming out of this hold, but he does find 2 kills as Gaga finishes him off with a right click. 95% for the charge as they end up backing up. Gangnam Jin slept on the point, but he still gets the touch.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough. They're in desperation mode. We have Fate over to the Doomfist. They're just panic touching at this point.
20 HP, far away. Looking for Gangnam Jin. Does receive a nice little armor pack there. A little cookie from Xerneas. Come back from spawn. Nade lands on Fate. Nano boost available. Nano straight onto Jinmu. Honestly, go for it, son. Spots Hisu across the map. Slash dash into right. Gets the reset straight on top of Fate. Now is going pretty low. Pops the power pop to survive. Not for a moment though. He does jump back in to try and help the rest of his team. Iris falls. The Charge looking to clear this one up. Dragons didn't end up capping the point, but they're losing numbers and they're losing them fast. Viper touching on Tracer. Hits the recall. Gets out of there. Well, I'm not sure there's much he can do now. Nice deflect kill. And there's another free blade from Jinmu. What a clean round by Charge.
Yeah, Charge obviously coming in here with a game plan against what the Dragons were planning on doing. And because the Dragons aren't playing the Symmetry, you could just see them slowly walking to the point, sort of having the looming threats of Jinmu on the high ground, Gaga waiting for the dive, and they just weren't able to hold up to the sheer amount of damage coming. And when you have Jinmu looking like he's in prime form on this Genji as well, that's going to be hard to deal with in this series.
Keep it up. I'm saying, man, you lock your favorite hero. Run it down. I mean, Farway's best hero. Definitely the Ana, right? So you're thinking maybe just stick on the Ana? I mean, if Fate is just gonna, and the rest of the team is just gonna get perma-anti like this, you might as well just keep lobbing those nades. But it looks like Dragons want to give them a taste of their own medicine. In fact, they're going over to the Echo. Kind of classic though for Well, to be fair at this point. But the Charge swapping up their DPS picks too. So Sombra, Ashe for Guangzhou.
I blinked and we're back in the Summer Showdown or the Spring Stage where we're playing Winston, Sombra, Ana, Brig everywhere. I feel like people just, both teams decided that they're not good at the current meta. Let's just go back to what used to work. And honestly, it worked for the Charge in the last round. Let's see if it's going to work for the Shanghai Dragons mirroring it.
Easy, falls to Rico. Fate super low. Another beautiful nade by Farway. Somehow he gets away then. Hisu does not, however. They did turn their attention towards the little pesky Tracer. And there is the first cap. Charge finding it this time around. And they're going to control. They're not going to give it up like Dragons did instantly.
And they're just burning. They're taking so much damage from this Jimmy Ashe that's just going to be pumping out damage. That has to be the #1 threat to deal with for the Shanghai Dragons. They need to find a way to get on top of Jimmy, because otherwise he'll have his way with your team.
Oh, Jimmy's pumping all right. 25% towards that Bob already. Duplication available for Viper too. So this is the engagement the Dragons want to look for right now. Copy onto the Ana would be perfect. A little anti-nade maybe. He's doing a little bit of trouble, but there it is. A Nano onto Jimmy. Why not? Best target around. Trying to right click, get some kills, but Gang the Jimmy, he's still already dead. It's more of a survival tactic there. Not a lot of extra damage with that Nano boost.
Now Jesus going over to the Ashe himself. The Shanghai Dragons just don't really know what to do against this. Viper almost getting staggered. But Fate just can't live. If he didn't have the nano boost, that's a huge stagger. I don't know how Hisu falls down to far away, but that's more time off the clock, Jack.
What? What's happening in spawn? Don't EMP.
Oh, there it is.
EMP'd. Oh, I mean, okay, follow-ups there. I thought they were way backed out, but, well, you know what? Whatever. Viper, Fate, dead. Hisu comes on the Widowmaker just for a brief pick. Switch backs to the Ashe. Damn, all right, Jinmu. Playing me like a fool.
Hisu switched over to the Widow, got a pick. But that's just one pick, 80% and counting for the Shanghai Dragons. They do have both support ultimates, so they should be able to live through.
Woo. Farway, here's the nade of the century there on the backline. Unfortunately, Gun and Jim rip the rally before they can get damage in. Gaga ends up falling even with Primal, but you're pretty happy with that, I think. Just want to save ults for the next 5 at this point. Yeah, get out. 95% as soon as they leave. And 90. Oh, 98. That would have been maybe a frame or two. 499. Hisu, though, coming up big on the Ashe. On his Mexic picks, but that would really just be it.
Hisu says anything Jimmy can do, I can do better. And I agree with you, Jack. I feel like Gaga didn't pop that Primal Rage intentionally, just realizing, hey, the rally's out, we'll take that trade. We'll come back with more ultimates, and there's nothing the Dragons are going to be able to do. Without the rally, the backline is going to really struggle to stay alive against the Nano Boost, a Primal Rage, a Bob, and a rally from the Guangzhou Charge as well.
Double heady there from Jimmy. Onto Hisu. Doesn't take him out. The range a little bit too much for him. Nano Boost available. Jimmy in trouble. Bob on the point. Rally coming out, though. It's going to stop Fate in its tracks. And there's the Nano. Guangzhou Charge throwing everything in this fight and more. Bob coming through as well from Hisu. But look at Gaga on the backline. That Nano Primal Rage just ripping and tearing through the team. Even a Nano on the Brig isn't going to save Gangnam Jim and Iris. Gangnam Jim in a whole heap of hurt right now as Fate ends up going down. And that should be the map. Charge taking Ilios.
You were right, Jack. Maybe a little bit of comfort is all the Guangzhou Charge needed to do. Jimmy looking primed on that Ashe. Jinmu feeling comfortable playing that Genji. Even the Sombra getting a ton of value against the Shanghai Dragons. And it just doesn't feel like Dragons have been able to accomplish anything. Even Viper, we hyped him up. He was the catalyst for them. Not really showing up at all on Ilios.
Just saying. This match was going to be cinema, Scott. And it's turning out to be an absolute rotten tomato certified banger. We're going to jump to a quick break. Charge up one map already. Welcome back. Dragons and Charge facing off right now in the play-ins for the 2023 season. This is the lower bracket too. And Scott, yeah, Charge, they're up a map already. Jimmy is in there, bro. Far away, hitting nades of his whole career. I've never seen better nades.
And it's just the Charge playing their game. That was something, a look we didn't see from them at all yesterday, but they've come back, maybe going back to some of their comfort and things that they understand how to play. And so far, the Shanghai Dragons just coming up completely flat. They didn't really show any resistance at all to what the Charge are throwing at them.
Yep, just a little bit of Ana, a little bit of Brig, a little bit of Summer Stage, Sombra Winston. All right, then we'll go into map number 2. It's Dragons pick, Scott. So let's have a look where they want to go. Looking a bit lackluster so far. I mean, I hyped up Viper, you know, the 1v1 against Jinmu, but didn't really happen, Scott. Didn't really happen at all. It was actually just Jinmu dominating on the Genji. Looks like we're going to Eichenwalde there.
We did see some signs of life from the Shanghai Dragons yesterday in their match against the Dallas Fuel. They full capped. They did get all the distance. Unfortunately, on their defense, they didn't show much resistance at all. So let's see if Shanghai Dragons can sort of show a better result than what we saw in the last map. But if the Charge are going to continue to do something different, you might need to see the Dragons adapt their own playstyle as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. The adaptation of the playstyle is going to be the most important, at least for the Dragons here. If Charge just want to continue rocking with the Ana, with the Brig, and just having Jinmu and Genji, and then Jimmy just doing Jimmy things, then yeah, maybe Dragons need to leave the whole, well, we'll just kind of play around the meta, we'll play the Orisa, right? Maybe they just need to go back to something like Fate on Winston.
And let's be honest, right? Both of these teams have been struggling, and against the caliber of teams of Dallas Fuel and the Seoul Dynasty right now, realistically, it's unlikely that they're going to be able to make this deep run through to the playoffs. Yes, we can hope for that Cinderella run, but for right now, it's really just showing pride in not being the worst team in the APAC region right now, because both of these teams have struggled. Unfortunately, Chengdu Hunters sort of took themselves out of the running. So now the Shanghai Dragons and the Guangzhou Charge just trying to leave with a little bit of respect and dignity. And it's kind of full circle for the Shanghai Dragons right now, because they started it with an 0-40 season. You don't want to be the first team to leave, and leave in a similar fashion to how you started.
Right, let's have a look what they're rocking. Yeah, I mean, Charge. Okay, Jinmu not on the Genji, on the Echo, but still far away, and Xerneas just very happy. Sticking on the Ana Brig. Something you've got to be quite comfortable with. Soj for Hisu though, Scott. Yeah.
We've seen this in the past, and this does make sense, but one of the big things of why people play this Orisa Lucio is you're able to play fast and play coordinated, or as you can see, Gangnam Jin getting very low. Does trade his life though.
Yeah, that's pretty bad for Charge though. They haven't really got that engagement presence anymore, and just like holding corners and whatnot. It's going to be up to Jimmy to do that kind of thing.
Oh, nice
good
sleep.
Sleep. Did they actually punish that kill? I mean, Fate's already running down the back line. Yeah, without Gaga there, it's just so tough. Also, thinking about this too, what does Gaga do on the Winston here? Like, what does he actually do?
And that's sort of what I wanted to speak to before I got cut off by the Gangnam Jin Gaga trade, is that the Winston really struggles in this matchup because there's just so much damage coming out from all of these sources. They can play coordinated, and if they can play fast, they can also get onto the backline, and maybe that's why you're seeing another switch here from the Charge, going over to the Mercy to pocket the Echo of Jinmu, even giving some pocket to the Ashe. It's going to be difficult for the Shanghai Dragons to deal with this. They're going to need to play coordinated once again, find another pick like they just did.
Yeah, you just don't really want to take a fight on the open. You want to just get onto the underground, pretty much, the lower section of the castle. Just save for a blade. I mean, Fate can infinitely stall payload, right? There's the dive. Oh, and that's what you want to see there.
Perfect.
That is the extra damage, right? I mean, you have the Mercy pocket, so for these big dives, you're not relying on someone shooting you from a million miles away. Unfortunately, though, again, Gaga ends up falling early in this fight, but Jinmu, with the copy, can become a tank himself.
Something I'd almost like to see is some Symmetra play here for the Dragons that would allow them to move around the map a little bit more. Xerneas dies.
Bro.
That is inexplicable.
Where is Xerneas? Like, look at it. Duplication available. There's the sleep. Does miss. Show us your prowess, Jinmu. On the Ana. They've already traded. They've still got an Ana on the field, don't worry. But Jinmu is in the back line. That is the problem. And the copy's gone. So, Gaga on his lonesome, sadly. Even with that Primal Rage, not sure he wanted to invest it into a losing fight. And there you go. Okay, Shanghai Dragons kind of handling Charge pretty easily there. Zerny is just dying first randomly, what felt like Scott.
Jack, this match feels like it's getting very silly very quickly as Xerneas falls in the backline of Shanghai Dragons once again. But the Shanghai Dragons, it's getting silly, but they're the ones coming out on top, and they have a bunch of ultimates to cap out this second point as well.
Charge. Are they going to touch? Any touches, potentially? Any touches? Ooh! 0.67. You take those. Gaga has to put himself on the point there permanently. 0.32. Oh, Gaga, please, someone heal him. Jimmy already down. Same with Gaga now. And there you go. The doors have been opened. The silliness factor is just outscaling, I think, the Guangzhou Charge currently. 4 minutes and 30 seconds in the time bank for the Dragons.
It was a cute little idea to play the Mercy from Xerneas. You know, pocket the Ashe, pocket the Echo, but I think it's time...
switching here.
Yeah, I think switching is a good idea at this moment. Has the Valkyrie, so maybe just sticking for that, using the ultimate, getting that extra healing and damage boost, but it's just... Mercy's just not a good pick in comparison to a Lucio and Ana. Just doesn't offer enough to the team.
Yeah, or the Brig, honestly, at this point. Nice nade onto Hisu. I mean, the Valk does a lot of work here in the small corridors, right? You can hit every with a healing beam, damage boost, etc. But, well, the Hisu trying to get unleashed. Almost one-shots Jinmu copy on the Orisa there. Jinmu taking infinite damage, but the Valkyrie's been popped. But, well, Viper's also pulled the blade. Oh, my God. Viper just continues to deliver with these nano blades. Sunny City has the res, but is it going to be enough? It's huge, Scott. Every Mercy player will tell you. Absolutely massive res. Doesn't end up winning the round, though. There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds for the Dragons. I mean, Viper equipping the Sandevistan there with the Nano Blade, just running through the Charge's backline. And it's almost kind of what happened yesterday, Scott. Dragons, the Eichenfeld pick, you know, I'm not too surprised we're going here, considering how they did against the Dallas Field, even though they did end up losing.
Yeah, well, we can give Dragons their props, but you have to look at what's going on the other side of the field as well. As Xerneas, the Mercy pick just made absolutely no sense. Obviously, they just want to stand on this high ground, but they stayed on it too long. He was also just, playing a flanking Echo Mercy, which just never worked out, and this is what happens. You leave the door open for someone like Viper on the Genji. He doesn't have as many threats to deal with, and he just picks apart the Guangzhou Charge bit by bit, one by one.
Yep, doesn't even need the blade to pick up kills. Just the nano boost, please and thank you. Yeah, that silliness is really coming to bite the Charge currently. Honestly, still here for it. It can still work. It's quite a big time bank, but you know, if they can do it, so can you.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like the idea. I like the idea. But honestly, just like yesterday, Dragons are just playing their game. It didn't work for them in Nelios, but they double down and it works a lot better now that the maps are a little bit more linear and that they can play coordinated and they can set up their engages a little bit more effectively. So far, the Charge just hasn't really been able to play as well. I like Xerneas going back to the Brig. Honestly, the biggest threat is the Shanghai Dragons and Viper on that Genji. Just, if you can deal with him, which a Brig does a very good job of doing, then I think the chances of success goes up dramatically.
For sure. Just stop Viper getting onto your backline. There's the Genji. Nade thrown out. Doesn't hit much. Xerneas in a little bit of trouble though. That shield's going to go down in just a moment. Can't bash when the shield's dead, of course. So he's saving that one. Trying to utilize the maximum form of aggression on Brig there, but you have to play back. Especially when you're against an Orisa, like Brig just gets dominated. So you have to be rather careful. Alright, Gaga does make his incision, but it looks like Dragons are more than happy to kind of trade backlines here, or at least try to. Both Genjis down, far away in trouble. Gaga has joined the rest of his team, and now he's just disappeared into the atmosphere. He's jumped back down, and there you go, squishes Iris. Alright, nice little double kill for the Winston. Charge off to a decent start there. Dragons just couldn't quite clean up the kills quick enough.
That's it. They had a good engagement in that small room. They just weren't able to find the picks. Jimmy able to live just long enough. And Gaga's just zapping them the entire time, almost as a primal rage. That's how much damage that he just did. And, you know, Obviously, we're going to question this Winston pick from Gaga. It's difficult against the amount of damage that the Dragons have, but if he's able to stay alive and the Dragons aren't going to punish him for it, then why not? Oh, later, Jimmy.
Oh my god. Jimmy has 0 matter left on the upper half of his body with that shot. That was an insane shot from Heath.
Whoa, how does that happen?
Carry down. Not sure. Not sure where the healers were. T, heals.
Gaga gets some heals. Didn't even have to pop the Primal Rage for that as well. That should give them a lot of card progress. Now they're coming up to another Nano Blade as well, Jack. Jinmu with the Nano Blade could be crucial.
Nano Boost, Primal Rage, juggling Iris in midair. Now he has to look for a potential environmental here as the sound barrier comes out. Ooh. And he might just find it. Iro with fancy footwork though, but not fancy enough as Gaga takes down one. But Hisu pops that overclock, actually finds a kill in the front line before turning his attention to Gaga and eliminating him too.
And they used the Nano there. I don't know where that Nano was. Did it go into Gaga or just a...
It did, yeah. It went to Nano Primal.
Oh, was it Nano on the Primal as well? I'm not a huge fan of those kind of decisions because all of a sudden now Jinmu has a blade that's going to be hard to get value from without the Nano boost. Let's see if Jinmu can make it happen.
I mean, it's blade versus blade here. Bob onto the high ground. Oh, goodbye.
Flanking Ash?
Goodbye. Here it is. You know, just the flanking Ash. Just Guangzhou Charge things. Blade's been pulled. 2 ultimates burned. 3, in fact, from Charge. He used the rally at the end of that fight. I would say rally kind of wasted there by Xerneas. They do end up cleaning up, and they're getting that payload going again.
Jimmy being sneaky beaky like, just slowly crouching up the stairs and then throws Bob to do the dirty work. So now Dragons, they have to get a re-entry. They have the ultimates of the Blade and the Terror Surge, and Guangzhou Charge don't have many answers to this. Fate's going to have to lead that. Gets onto the cart.
Does indeed. Far away. Now getting to run to the aggression, but Viper does pull the Blade, like you said, Scott. Very little answers, if any. Oh, see ya. Whoa, Viper. Wow. Slingshot across the map. The Ragdolls in Overwatch 2, I'll say.
And this is probably going to be one of the worst positions to get held. It becomes very difficult to get these final few meterage to cap out the second point because now the Charge, they have to do the exact same thing again. They have to get into the castle. They have to dislodge the Dragons from the high ground. And then they have to get back on the point. So it doesn't matter how far the card is, they still have to do the same thing they just did, and now they don't have the ultimates that they previously did. Jinmu goes over to the Sombra to do some sneaky play, but Viper's all over it. Oh, later, Jinmu. Oh, later, Jimmy.
See ya. Okay. 2 quick and clean kills there from the DPS beasts on the Dragons. All right, Charge. Big resets coming in. Big reset. Viper does end up going down. Again, just... God, it really does feel like Gaga has Viper's number, but I also feel that's Viper just overstaying somewhat.
But that's the reason the Charge are playing this Winston, right? It's a lot harder to play the Genji against the Winston, so it could almost just be a counter pick of, hey, if we can shut down Viper, there's opportunities here as Jinmu continues to try and C9.
Okay, do not die instantly again.
Hey, Gaga's here.
Hey, what's up, Gaga? Where's the team? Oh, there they are. All good. Just chilling. Nano and the Primal available. He's to overstepping just a little bit. There you go, punished for it instantly. No dash potentially there. Nano boost onto Viper now. Nano boost onto Gaga is the response. Perfect one at that. Dynamite kills Gangnam Jin. Gaga hunting, searching, prowling. Waiting for Viper showing his head again, but it looks like Viper has other plans. Jimmy down to some random headshots as that Terror Surge came out from Fate, hitting absolutely nobody. Iris does fall, and with the Primal Rage, Charger in a good spot. Sound Barrier does come out. Farway takes a double body shot into a headshot from Hisu. That overclock is just too powerful from the Heath. 1 minute to go for Charge. Looking like a Dragons map here, Scott, if they got anything to say about it.
And you're seeing the weakness of the composition Charge are playing. They were able to get a bunch of kills. They had a ton of advantages, especially in the player department. But as soon as Jimmy falls, they don't have the damage to close out these fights. Without a big ultimate like the EMP, they were just sort of standing around. Dragons had enough time for Gangnam Jin to come back, drop the sound barrier, and now the Guangzhou Charge, only 45 seconds remaining. Oh, almost lost the EMP.
Yep, EMP, and Gaga's in there with the Primal Rage, and there's no follow-up right now. I say that, Viper does end up falling. Gaga kind of losing Iris for a brief moment before he realized he popped him in that corner. Hisu dead, and there is the point. A lot of ults popped by the Dragons in that previous fight, meaning they can't really respond with anything to that Primal Rage and that rally going off. Still 2 minutes. Pause coming in, though. Little peepee there from Gangnam Jin. Wondering why he died, maybe.
Yeah. Refs, can we please run that one back? I don't think that was it. That wasn't fair.
Iris, why were you in that corner against the Primal Rage? Makes no sense. Please just sleep the monkey.
And I don't know what exactly happened with the Viper blade, but Viper did pull a blade, didn't get to see it because it was happening off screen as we saw Gaga just brutalizing Iris in the corner. But Guangzhou Charge, they are going to make it through, and both teams having a pretty successful attack on Eichenwald.
Yeah, sure. Successful in what regard, I'd say, for the Charge. I mean, it's a pretty tough point to push, to be fair, but they were almost pushed to OT, Scott. I mean, we're in, 1 minute 40 seconds left for the Charge now. If the Shanghai Dragons can kind of stall this out, just weather some of these ultimates coming through from the Dragons here, they could force OT. Like, it's pretty hard to push around that final corner, and like the stall potential is pretty massive, so we could be looking at a free attack for Dragons at this point. Looks like Iris is just having a mic issue. Just a couple of minutes ETA there on the fix. All good. We got our best Overwatch scientists coming in to fix Iris's mic.
Yeah, I think the big scientific strategy is to turn it off and turn it on again. I believe that is what I do every time I need to fix anything, and it usually works like a charm.
Smart. That's very, very good from you. Some IT crowd knowledge coming in.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm a professional. If you guys want to commission me, I can, $50 a recommendation to turn it off and on again.
Bro thinks he's the Geek Squad, man.
Honestly, I don't want to throw a shade at Geek Squad, but it's probably better than what they're offering. I'm just going to be honest.
Dude. And our playoff sponsor is coming in.
Can you imagine if we were about to partner with Geek Squad and then this happens?
They pull up the clip. They pull up the 1 a.m. PST clip from Scott Custer Kennedy slamming them on broadcast.
Hey, Geek Squad, if you can solve this Iris issue in the next minute, I'll take everything that I said back. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back to gaming.
Watch out right now. 1 minute. 1 minute and counting right now. That's fine. I'm down.
Also, that sign said, got to gold for the first time in 6 years. Got back to silver in 3 hours. Honestly.
The ranked experience. Welcome.
Just play another 6 years and you'll get back to gold, honestly. And then you can enjoy those 3 hours again.
Play another 6 years. I'm just saying, it's all the same. No matter how far you go up, it's all the same. People just get quieter as it goes up.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's true. Jimmy doing a Jaws cosplay, giving a bit of a yawn. He's like, this is a little bit easy for me.
What are you saying? I haven't let out a yawn on broadcast today.
Yeah, that's true.
I was a little bit tired yesterday, okay? Could you blame me? All right, chill.
No, I got nothing. I'm just saying, you're getting really defensive over here. You're getting defensive about you being sleepy.
No, not getting defensive. I just don't like my name being thrown shade on.
I would
never.
Makes
no sense.
That's an Avril thing. In Avril's defense, you did call the entire APAC region fraudulent yesterday, just to sort of throw some shade.
I didn't say that. I said there is another word. It could have been fraudulent.
Okay,
but
lawyer.
Exactly. Lawyer mode. Lawyer Jaws coming in. I said it could have been, but it wasn't. You see.
Okay.
Just saying. All right. One of those signs saying, Shanghai, can we win? Just pretty please. A little W. I mean, right now with a almost 4 minute time bank on Eichenwalder, you're feeling pretty good as Charge only have a minute and a little bit coming back in. And it looks like, Iris's mic is still being tested, running through some rigorous tests, maybe defragging the entire PC, and then we'll get back into it.
Yeah, and if we do want to talk, about the game of where we're at, if you're thinking about where we are right now, Guangzhou Charge, they're playing the Winston, the Sombra. Obviously, it's going to work when there's a lot of space to work with. But as you go to the third point, everything's indoors. We might have to see Jimmu swap off of the Sombra. Even the Gaga Winston, it's been getting a surprising amount of value so far on this map. But as we head indoors, it's going to be a lot harder. There's going to be more damage coming out. And the Shanghai Dragons of playing together is only going to get stronger.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing too. I mean, at least the Charge can be happy with, taking first map. We go to a map that we know Shanghai Dragons are pretty strong on. We get map choice after this if we do end up falling over. And they can pick just a map that's strong to their kind of composition that they want to run. The Ana and the Brig, the Genji, right? The Gaga on Winston. So it's very well could go to a map 5 if that kind of pattern just continues. looks like both teams are ready. They have typed ready. Everybody has pressed the letter R, and I think we're going to get into game in just a moment again. So, yeah, Charge did up just capping the second point. And here we go. Unpausing, un-PP, and we're back in. I just saw Gangnam Jin hit the PP again.
That's crazy.
PP. That's crazy. Gangnam Jin, if you have somehow managed to curse Iris's mic again, I'm going to be very mad.
We just got trolled. Everything was looking good. Everyone started. Everyone said ready. I feel like there should be... You know how there's like a... Usually when you unpause, there has to be like a certain amount of time has to pass until you can pause again. I feel like that should be a limitation because, I feel like Gangnam Jin is just lying to all of us right now that everything was good.
Look at his face. He's lying to us right now. He just wanted more time. He was like, man, I could really finish the rest of my dinner right now. So,
yeah.
If we brief pause and I can kind of just off cam eat some of my dinner, then that would be great.
Yeah. And honestly, the real question is where do we land with Geek Squad at this point? Because yes, they did solve the problem, but
Geek Squad, come on to the cast. We need to hash this out. The resolution needs to be met. You and Scott can sit down. You can have a nice, friendly chat and talk about your differences, and then hopefully find some sort of resolution. And you can also maybe help Iris fix his mic.
Yeah, and then we can start the game again. And then we don't have to
start the game again. Exactly.
We don't have to slam Gangnam Jin anymore for potentially lying to us as the entire broadcast. So
right, and then we don't have to slam Avril, and then Avril doesn't have to smack talk me on broadcast.
Yeah,
and it all comes full circle. We can all be friends. We can all shake hands. So.
Look at the dominoes fall. All because we had to pause because Iris had a mic issue.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. We'll be solving every issue in the book. We'll be solving the balance of the game, right? We'll be solving why things get nerfed, why Tracer got nerfed again, why Torb doesn't get Giga buffs again, why doesn't he get level 3 turret? We'll slowly get there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, all because of this microphone pause. That is crazy.
Yeah. We're stuck here. We're having a good time. We got a pause going on. What are the signs? What are the signs saying? That one says Overwatch League 2023 season. I can read that one.
I know it said something about Shanghai. That's about it.
That's all you got? That's the extent of the Korean?
Yeah. I mean, it was like... Shanghai is like phonetically written in English, so it's like... Yeah. Shanghai, do not go down at least today is the sign. So yeah, do not lose. Shanghai, don't lose. I like all the signs actually are just like, please. Shanghai, please. Don't lose. Just, I'm begging you.
Yeah. It hasn't been like, Shanghai fighting. It feels like and honestly, that has been a thing about the Shanghai Dragons. Right? Like, we can go back to talking about the Shanghai Dragons legacy, right? Of like, they did start with a historic 0-40 season in the beginning of the Overwatch League in season 1. They had that redemption arc over the following years. They won stage 3 in 2019 with a unique Pharah composition to take down GOATs. They then had their massive run as they bolstered their roster, won the championship in 2021. And then it feels like we've seen a steady decline for the Shanghai Dragons to the situation they are now, where they could potentially leave this season with a bit of a whimper rather than really showing the force that they have been over the last few years.
Yep, this is the elimination match as well, so yeah, worth keeping in mind. Team that loses here today, their season is over. So he needs to come back. So yeah, we're just waiting on Compop to let us know. Sounds like it's still Iris's mic that is playing up again. So as soon as we get that sorted, it's going to be all good. Looks like we're just getting some ready checks too to see if the players are good to go. So yeah, the unpause should be coming in just a moment if it's all good. Yeah, so players feel comfortable to unpause. Here we go. All right, no more. If I see Gangnam Jin type one more time, I am going to scream.
Cut his keyboard.
No, because then we have to pause again. We have to go buy another one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My fault.
Nice. Dude, Geek Squad, do not hire this man. All right, here's the Bob coming in for Jimmy. Farway and Iris already dead. A little healing from both sides now. I mean, this EMP is just absolutely disastrous for the Dragons defense. However, they did manage to get Charged to burn a lot of ults here. Clean team wipe too. Not the worst for the Dragons. They can come back as almost a complete 5.
The difficulty you have at this moment is how do you get out of these doors without taking too much damage? It was both the DPS ultimates from the Charge.
They just walked out.
Yeah, they just walked out.
They just walked out. They just W'd, and they're out the doors. And Nano Boost available for Iris. 10% away from far away, though, is Viper. Does end up swapping to the Bastion. He's now popped the wheels mode. Gaga asleep onto the high ground, but still nano boost available. You don't want to use it as a defensive one. Xerneas getting super low. And there's the spear spin too. Xerneas dragged in, has to get away. Bashes out of the Terror Surge and actually picks up a kill too. But Viper, nano boost on the Bastion. Need I say more? 2 kills for the Bastion, and there you go. The hold continues. 30 seconds to go. Charge looking like they're not going to even be able to complete.
And that's such a great switch from Viper. Going over to the Bastion, it's just going to make it impossible for Gaga to play the game. If he jumps in and Viper is there with the wheels mode, he's not going to be able to stand up to that damage.
Overclock for Hisu too. Final few seconds as Jinmu has been discovered once again. Can't take too much damage. Hisu playing up. No, he's got that power slide to get away if he needs it. Nade landed on Fate. He's okay though. Standing on the corner still. Getting healed up by the rest of his team. Taking a lot of damage after he was hacked. And he's back to pop. That defensive tool too. Goes golden for just a little bit. But here comes the Mortar Barrage for the Bastion. Any death here is disastrous for the Charge, but it's actually Gangnam Jim who ends up going down first. Hisu popping the overclock, but no, is actually just juggled away by Gaga using that Primal Rage. An OT finish for the Charge, so the map won't end here, but the best they can do is now a draw.
Yeah, Charge just coming in with too many ultimates at the very end, but it just wasn't soon enough. As you said, Jack, they're fighting for a draw, and Shanghai Dragons have 3.5 minutes to be able to get a single tick on the first cap, and that's going to be hard to do because if Shanghai Dragons, they just play it slowly, they build up their ultimates, I don't think the Charge are going to be able to respond to that with their own ultimates with the current composition that they're playing. So let's get a replay here of the Jinmu Blade.
That was such a cool Bob play, I will say. Coming up behind, knocking up the support, and there you go, Jinmu. He's farming clips. The most important thing you can do in an Overwatch League game.
Yeah, put it in a montage, take away all the deaths. Hey, it's a successful game. So now we're going to see Jinmu go back to the Echo. This didn't really work for them last time on the defense. I guess that also had Xerneas playing the Mercy, but it felt like if they aren't able to get enough pressure out early with Jinmu on the Ashe and Jinmu on the Echo, sorry, and Jimmy on the Ashe, it's going to be hard for them to really hold any positioning. If Shanghai Dragons just execute a great dive onto either Farway or Xerneas, or even Gaga just oversteps, you can see this falling by the wayside for the Charge, and the Shanghai Dragons will even it up 1-1.
Hisu, peek, no pick. Always love going for that Widow shot though. You might as well. Doesn't cost you too much. Especially not in this situation at least. Just with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go as he rocks up on the Sojourn.
See them poking and prodding, just playing for positioning. Gaga, he's going to want to play aggressive and jump up here, as you can see, but he's just got to be very careful about not getting punished. Fate's just hounding him down, and Charge are having to give up a ton of map control just because they can't hold on to it because of the amount of damage coming out from the Dragons, and now Viper's on the backline.
Oh yeah, Viper's on the backline, but no, Jimmy to the rescue. Ends up killing Viper, but they do end up losing Farway, but no, Jimmy, of course, just feeling the kill feed with kills. There you go. The Charge will end up holding on with a team kill. So like just getting ults online for Dragons, right? You just want to get 2, 3 ults, just throw them all in one fight. But after losing one, they're in a sticky situation. Bob, Copy, you know, 40% away or 30% away even now. They're going to be able to get those in the next couple of minutes. Oh, what a kill onto Jimmy. What a spear by Fate. The follow-up from Heath.
Great play, great play.
Scott, but that's really bad. Like, Jimmy's going to come back in like 5 seconds.
And Gaga needs to stay alive. As you said, they traded. Dragon stepping up. Viper's going to have a closer spawn as well, so there will be a short window of Dragon's advantage.
Holding him off for the moment, though. Jimmy's going to make his way back in a couple of moments. Xerneas somehow undetected in the backline. Pops the rally to get out to Viper. Nano boost. Xerneas so low. I mean, this is just a clean sweep now, you got to imagine. I mean, Farway and under a whole lot of pressure. Dynamite anti-nade guarantees kill onto Viper. Duplicated already been used, and they have to now touch. I mean, it's just Gangnam Jin and Hisu and Fate just locking down the 4 right now as straight out of midair, Jinmu gets picked. Gaga's back. Nano boost available for Farway, but couldn't get back in time to apply it to Winston. And that will be Shanghai Dragons winning the second map.
One small misstep there from Jimmy. Fate hits the spear, and once one domino falls, the rest of them continue. And as you said, Jack, going 1-1, and this series could easily go the distance. You can see how the different map types favor the different playstyles of both of these rosters. So we could end up going all the way to map 5 because it is loser's choice of maps, so they can always play to their own strengths.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Loser's choice. So where will Charge end up taking us? Not entirely sure. We will jump to a quick break. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Shanghai Dragons and the Guangzhou Charge now ties. Brief little pause there from Gangnam Jin, man. But it's all good. Don't worry. Stand up.
That was a Gangnam Jin's fault. Somehow we've just blamed the entire
We've shifted
pause
the
on
blame
Gangnam
from
Jin.
Iris' mic being broken to Gangnam Jin because he asked for the pause. That's true. Maybe he was just being a good friend. I don't know.
You don't kill the messenger, Jack. Come on, rule number 1.
Yeah, but they kind of delivered the bad news, so, you know, I don't know. Regardless, I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the one to deliver bad news, but don't shoot me. Guangzhou Charge ended up losing that last map. That Icon Boulder map pick from Dragons. They ended up taking it. We go to New Junk City for the Guangzhou Charge, Scott.
Yeah, New Junk City. Obviously, when you go to Flashpoint, you only have 2 choices, Suravasa and New Junk City. And honestly, there isn't a lot of differences between it. They play very similarly. The same strengths of one map translates across to the other. You want to be playing speedy compositions to be able to maneuver around the map and manipulate the opposition team. So how is that going to work for the Guangzhou Charge, a team that has been trying their darndest to not play the Lucio, while Shanghai Dragons have really just been focused on, let's keep playing the Lucio Ana and just play to our own strengths?
Right. I mean, that's the big thing, right? These maps don't really play that differently, just because it's a giant control map, pretty much. You do need a lot of Lucio, a lot of good movement, got a lot of good hunkering down too. And it's a lot about how teams end up rotating. There's been big differences, especially over in North America, Scott, over the last couple of weeks, on teams that want to take the aggressive like rotation fights and other teams that don't. I want to see how the Charge and Dragons end up kind of navigating this one, because it feels to me, at least on the Dragon side of things, they want to be able to like hard engage, especially with Gangnam Jin playing this Lucio and Viper on the Genji. So we'll see how they want to take this one.
There is no way Gaga just walked out with a Winston and a Lucio. Like that, this is like the middle ground of both. Gaga is not going to have the healing to be able to play Winston effectively. This is just a composition that doesn't make sense.
Well, Viper got insta-killed by Jinmu, so
well, that works.
Nice analysis there, buddy. Jinmu taking a lot of damage, and it has to back up, but a big kill onto Viper is going to start the team fight off pretty strong. But you're not wrong, Scott. I mean, Gaga was permanently under 100 HP that entire engagement. It's really up to the DPS of the Shanghai Dragons now to try and clean this one up. Gaga ends up falling, and there you go. Prophecy is very much coming true right now. Point has been unlocked too, but both teams kind of refusing to get on it and putting pressure on. Finally, the Charge end up making their way on it, but it's just fate holding this one down now. It's going to be almost impossible to dislodge that Orisa by that tank.
And that's the thing. Fate is able to, as an Orisa, just anchor in the front, just be able to play in the front line. Gaga tried the same thing and gets absolutely punished for it.
Guys, you got a cap. Guys, you got a cap. Someone's got a cap, surely. Jimmy?
Running for his life, runs past the team as well.
Jimmy, 1 HP, run through the entirety of the Shanghai Dragons. Actually just adorned the Harry Potter invisibility cloak there. How he got away with that, I don't know. Regardless, though,
3v5
beat into the plane with Jinmu. No one, they managed to cap, so you know what? Any kills here is good. Jinmu now trying to face off with a window. As Iris pops down that lamp, and there you go. Okay, finally. Calm, peace, order has been restored as the Dragons end up capping. Charge, though, making them work for it. Got 30% almost.
Yeah, but now we see Jimmy switch over to the Sombra. Xerneas finally decides, okay, maybe we should play Brig.
Oh, so Jimmy is back capping.
Which is annoying, but it's also like, it's not that meaningful or impactful.
Yeah.
So Charge are going to...
Yeah,
Charge are going to play a dive, so they need to find hacks with Jimmy and then execute alongside the Jinmu Genji. See if they can accomplish this. With a nano boost on the Gaga, it should give them a little bit more punching power.
Iris puts down the Lamb. Lamb's going to be destroyed. Iris holding those Exo boots, but it's the Primal Rage. Gaga once again putting up big numbers with these Primals. We know how good he is on the Winston. Kind of proving it here. Go on, chase him. Chase him.
Run, Gangnam Jin, run.
Nice little boot. Gangnam Jin, 1v1 against the Winston. Oh, we turned away. All good. Kill feed's got our back. There you go. Gangnam Jin ends up going down to Gaga as the point flip comes through. Oh, nice stagger kill on Easy.
And that really matters on Flashpoint because the points tick up so quickly that if you're the Dragons, you really need to get back there before your backs end up against the wall and it's at 80-90% and you're not able to take an active fight. Iris switches over to the Kiriko, seeing the Sombra, seeing how heavily the Guangzhou Charge are investing into the dive, just playing something a little bit more survivable. Jimmy needs to get to the CMP.
Here he gave like, oh, not going to get to it now, I don't think, Scott. I've taken that kunai headshot, forced a recall, and there you go. Hisu's just laying waste to the rest of Guangzhou Charge. Nice little point flip there at 99%. Well, I have another say in this fight, though. 70% on flashpoint's a bit of a weird percentage here. Someone's going to have to stagger on and touch the points. Probably going to be Jimmy, I would have thought, Scott.
Yeah, and with an EMP as well, it could be hyper effective. Gangnam Jin just cannot get hit. Gaga is already dead as well, so what do you even do here if you're Jimmy?
Go EMP. Okay, yeah, go next. All right, there it is. Wow, Gaga falls again. And Scott, you brought it up literally almost instantly, right? When we went into that first fight. Like, what does Gaga do?
What Xerneas, what are you doing?
How does Gaga interact with these fights? I don't know what Xerneas was doing. It was just chilling. He was like, I could just hide in this corner, sure.
And as you said, Jack, like Gaga, he got a ton of value when he got Nano Boost and had the Primal, but outside of that, he just feels like a damage battery that the Charge are having to consistently heal up, and if they don't, he will fall. Jimmy is holding on to this EMP, though, so let's see if he can find an effective one. Catch Gangnam Jin, and the rest of the team can follow up.
He has been spotted. 3-man, though. Viper gets instantly Suzu'd, so the hack ended up wearing off. I saw an A from far away, but they still have the over health from the beat. So they should be good. Nano boost available. Still. There's the Nano. Onto Xerneas. Popping
Raid
the rally.
Boss.
Raid Boss coming in. Looking like Ragnaros out here. Gangnam Jin taking a hay for damage. Same with Viper in the front line. And there is the cleanup. The point is still capped. Oh, I take it back. 1 pixel away.
Clean fight from the Charge. The EMP didn't get a ton of value, but it did bait out the sound barrier from Gangnam Jin. After that wore off, they had the Nano Boost, the Rally, and the Blade from Jinmu to really clean things up. So it was expensive for the Charge, but if it needed to be done, it needed to be done. Let's see if the Shanghai Dragons can utilize their old advantage to get back into this one.
Old advantage being hopefully a Blade. I mean,
and an Overclock
with Viper's normal blades, I was going to say, I don't think they might even do Overclock. Viper's just regular blades, Scott, have just been so good. Isu pretty low, though. There's the manual hack, and okay. Isu just ended up going down. Wow, a bit of a mismanagement of healing resources there, I felt like.
Gaga gets low.
Gaga, once again, taking infinite damage. Ends up going down to a Bionade. It's tough, man. It's tough being Gaga out here. Didn't want to pop the Primal Rage, unfortunately. Azirus ends up falling. All good, though. Very messy fight coming in. Dragons need to find some semblance here. But an unbelievable sleep from far away. This guy's a beast. Xerneas does fall to Gangnam Jin, but a sloppy fight is not what the Dragons need right now, especially as Jinmu's just getting reset after reset. The Charge coming alive. I mean, I'm going to be honest, while Gaga is kind of like, he is being that old battery, right? But he's just giving them so much space, regardless of how much time he's spent at like less than 100 HP. The focus fire from the Dragons is good, killing the tanks, but they're just kind of ignoring Jimmy right now.
And Farway's making big plays left and right as well. Finding picks, hitting big sleeps like that, like we just saw on Viper. And that really opens the door for the rest of the Charge to step up like Gaga has been. And now they're coming up to a ton of ultimates as we move on to this third point. But Dragons have already taken positioning on the point.
Give me 20% towards that EMP. Gaga's got that primal, so a bit more sustainable. Wow, he ran and he got found out there. Jinmu falls the Blade. Trying to get at least one kill. Somehow finds Iris. No Suzu available, no switch set potentially. But yeah, just blowing up the front line is the Shanghai Dragons. That sound barrier, a rather late one in that fight, just saved their bacon there.
Yeah, that was a great play. Gaga doesn't get the Primal Rage off in time due to the Javelin sort of creating that stun. Dragons get the first capture of the point. Jimmy does have another EMP. We saw how it worked last time. Really opened up the fight. They're going to have to contest with the Hisu Overclock, though. We know how deadly Hisu can be with this one.
Jimmy's got the EMP. Boom. Hits. Only hits once. Actually, Hisu's sliding away. I believe that was an instant Suzu from Iris there to cleanse the EMP. Nano boost onto Gaga. They do end up flipping. Here comes the damage and kills potentially, but that Nano boost is just going to dominate the Shanghai Dragons.
Nano, EMP, Primal. There's nothing the Dragons can do. Yeah, it's expensive, but once again, you need to do what you need to do. Find advantages elsewhere. If Gangnam Jin doesn't have the sound barrier, you know that's almost a guaranteed teamfight win. See if Charge can find another pick, because that's how they won the last round. They found a unique pick. They had a couple of individual brilliant plays, and that's how the Dragons just weren't able to get back into it. If they can put pressure on Hisu once again, as soon as Hisu stepped off last time, they hacked him and put pressure on. Didn't give him the freedom to use the overclock.
think super far up. I like
Oh, huge nade.
Oh, my nade again. But even bigger Suzu from Iris there, saving the entire team. Hisu shooting into that barrier with that overclock as the focus attention right now is towards Xerneas, but he bought enough time once again for the rest of the team. And in fact, Jinmu to pick up 4 kills. Give him the 5th, give him the 5th, give him the 5th. Jinmu, you got to take it. What are you doing? You could have got the clip.
Jinmu doesn't care about your clip. Jinmu only knows frags. He does this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Jack. He doesn't need another clip on his belt.
True. Mad facts being spat by Scott right now.
Yeah,
all right, here we go. Another one. What can I say? What can I say? It's 2 a.m. I'm spitting out mad facts.
Just saying what comes to my brain.
Late rotation here. Charge, because they ended up taking that point, their bomb flats. We're opening up this next point. Jinmu's got the blade. He's about to rip and roll in the back line of the Dragons. If Ganonjin can be careful though, he's got the sound barrier. Oh, no, he gets hacked! He gets hacked! Jimmy hacks him out of the beats! And an easy free blade from Jinmu now. Viper, Hisu dead to Gaga's just punch in the leap into the back line. What an unbelievable hack from Jimmy. The Guangzhou Charge don't care about your regular season record. Like, my word. What an absolute performance so far.
Just brilliant plays from the Charge, left and right. Putting on the pressure there. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, never worried. Never worried.
Oh, never worried. Never was Jimmy. Never worried. Never was Jimmy.
Yeah, no, you could even see Jimmy's head move. Like, you could see the stress of just the head movements.
He's trying to dodge out the way. He's like, oh, please. Help me.
Jimmy does have another EMP here, though. His Dragons are just walking into a trap right now.
They're funneling in. Oh, little teleport, though. Sim Bash in order of the day now for the Dragons, but they are grouped. EMP's going to be pretty big. Straight onto Hisu. Goodbye, Dragons. A reset angle.
And wow, 15 kill streak for Jinmu. They are just hit another gear for the Charge right now. 75% and counting. Dragons will get one more fight. They need to be able to flip this, but they don't have many ultimates. Hisu switches over to the Sombra to touch. Viper over to the Tracer. Yeah, Hisu should get a touch, but they're not going to win the fight.
Is he going to be able to get touch? 95%. He might be able to get touch, but the rest of the team is going to pay for it, you can imagine. Gaga, Primal Rage used, trying to hunt for Gangnam Jin. Or a little slippery Lucio, though, does manage to get out as Hisu gets hacked on the point.
Oh, flip.
And they find the flip. More importantly there, Scott. So Charge, they got a lot more to worry about. Iris ends up going down. There's the Terror Surge straight on top of Xerneas, who ends up getting Nano. Damage does go through the shield now, but the Nano boost with the rally. An infinite health pool for Xerneas. 22% and building. Shanghai Dragons looking like they're going to lose this map. Charge putting themselves on match point. Who is to touch? Only Hisu, but no one is there. Oh, the blade sounds in the distance. Not enough for them to get back to the point. And the Guangzhou Charge up 2 maps. Looking like a regular day in the office, Scott, for them. What an unbelievable performance. And like I said, regular season record who? Like, the Charge don't care. We're in the play-ins now, Scott. Completely different game.
The Charge are just an enigma. They go from looking like a team that is like a ranked game. They're all over the place, chaotic. And then they just had fantastic teamwork. The composition didn't make sense to start, but it made sense at the end. They end up making mincemeat of the Shanghai Dragons.
Don't care. Didn't ask. Guangzhou Charge up 2-1. Match point for them. Dragons need to take us now to a game number 5. We'll be right back just after this break. You are currently watching pure cinema, directed by the Guangzhou Charge. They are match points currently against the Shanghai Dragons. As a reminder, the Guangzhou Charge have not won a game in 2 months, almost to the day. And they are potentially taking down the Dragons in the lower brackets here in the play-ins in the East. Insane stuff coming out from the Charge right now, Scott.
And all it took was for them to really just play their comfort heroes, right? Like Gaga just sticking to the Winston, an unconventional pick in this meta. Farway's playing the Ana, he's popping off in his own right. Jimmy's just playing random hit scans, whatever he feels comfortable playing. Even played a little bit of Sombra, and right now the Shanghai Dragons just have not had an answer, and it really goes to prove the issues that you're seeing in the Shanghai Dragons, that they don't seem to have that level of coordination that is just able to break a simple Winston dive composition like some of these other teams have. And now they have to, keep searching for answers. As we head over to New Queen Street, you have to assume that the Guangzhou Charge is just going to continue to work with what's working. Just play the Winston, play the Ana, and just go down on that ship.
This could be a very poorly timed joke of a map to go to. Toronto.
Oh, no.
With a place at the playoffs in Toronto on the line currently. Here in the play-ins, in the lower bracket. The Shanghai Dragons map pick here. Wishing to be in Toronto. And at first, they will have to conquer the map. And honestly, what push map isn't decent for dive and like Winston, etc.? I mean, New Queen Street's probably the worst out of all of them. So you can kind of see why they want to go here.
Also, at some point, you just need to play to your own strengths, right? Like, you could maybe argue that Colosseo would be worse for Winston, but it's also bad for the Shanghai Dragons composition who want to play on flat ground. So I think almost playing to their own strengths a little bit, actually, never mind. I think the Shanghai Dragons, from what we're seeing in the composition right now, they're like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Welcome to the mid-season madness meta. We are back.
Featuring Jinmu Genji for some reason.
Featuring Jinmu on the Genji because it's fun character and Genji is cool.
This is wild. The Shanghai Dragons, I said, are they going to come up with answers? They just go with, well, we don't need answers if we just believe that we can play the Winston dive better than the Guangzhou Charge. Let's see if that works.
You can't tell me. The Eastern region, the APAC region hits different. You can't tell me it doesn't.
Yeah. Cool. Great sleep.
Very sad. Iris is playing in the front line currently. Nice little anti-nade, but Gang and Jim have fate. Oh, they've met theirs, that is for sure. As Jinmu cleans up, gets the reset, and gets the bot going. Oh, Shanghai Dragons.
They just weren't able to punish the Xerneas sleep. Xerneas was kind of in the open, gets slept, and Dragons almost get baited into it. Farway drops a great nade once again. Gets a bunch of anti-heals onto the Shanghai Dragons. They're just not able to recover from the damage, and you can see how aggressively the Charge are playing. Oh, but Gaga gets punished with a great pulse bomb.
Yeah, fantastic pulse bomb from Viper. I mean, Viper was keeping them in the game, right, yesterday against the Dallas Fuel. So right now he has to, once again, come up rather large. Like, you want to go to a map number 5 and win the series. Very strange little fight in this small room.
Whoa, what is happening?
There's the rally. Not sure, but ults are happening, Scott. Fate in a whole world of trouble. Doesn't even pop Primal Rage. Okay, knows that the fight is done. Has to back up. And the Guangzhou Charge, after losing 2 people early on in that fight, end up coming out on top.
Dragons just couldn't punish Farway and Xerneas, and then they just pop their 2 ultimates when Dragons do decide to commit into the small room, and they're the ones that pay the price. So now very close to the checkpoint for the Charge.
Raid boss moment. Dragon Blade for Jinmu. You gotta rip it. As soon as you see Hisu come back, man, or those DPS, or those supports, whoever. Iris in trouble. Oh, what a sleep! What a sleep from Iris! Can he keep himself alive too? Nano boost on Gangnam Jin? He can! Oh, the nano boost was so good too. Iris was kept alive for so long with that Inspire healing. What a sleep shutting down Jinmu's blade.
Getting treated to some great Ana play. Yeah, and he's got the bot. Viper Tracer, this is going to give a ton of positioning progress, and the Guangzhou Charge didn't even get the checkpoint, so they don't have the forward spawns either. Huge swing from the Shanghai Dragons, starting with a great sleep from Iris. And now Hisu has the EMP, Jimmy also has one, so it's going to be that sort of standoff where who's going to pop the EMP first. You got to be careful to not get yours cancelled.
Yeah. Don't get hacked out of a big ultimate. EMP is huge far away, and Xerneas instantly hacked. Rally being popped as well by the Shanghai Dragons. Okay, well, maybe a little bit of an overinvestment there, Scott, from Shanghai.
Well, Jimmy also dropped his EMP, so I think Gangnam Jin felt that he needed to pop it, give their team a little bit of survivability. And now it's the Shanghai Dragons who are sort of eking towards this checkpoint. Viper with another pulse bomb. We saw he got so much value from it last time.
Oh,
just wide.
Stick. Jeez. Oh, Jimmy didn't get discovered. Oh, good. Looked like he had to pop the Translocator though. Had to pop back to that one.
Oh, just so much damage with these shurikens, just charging up the blade.
Jinmu can really just do it all.
Yeah. Oh, sleep on a Hisu.
His? No,
Xerneas got way too greedy to try and punish that.
Just caught off guard there. It was the Primal Rage from Gaga, separating Gan and Jin, or at least trying to, from Iris, but Iris had him in sights almost that entire time. That Primal Rage from Gaga not finding all too much. A little bit of disruption, that's about it. Another long, drawn-out fight. Oh, an insta-kill onto Iris. Here come the resets for Jinmu. A guy that can really do it all. 2 kills Jinmu off of that fight. And no lead for the Shanghai Dragons, Scott. That is not good news.
Jinmu realizes he doesn't even need to use the blade. Holds onto it. So he has another tool in which he can be a threat going into the next fight. Guangzhou Charge also having Xerneas with the rally. Hisu's going to need to get up this EMP. Jimmy trying to match him as well. Viper touches just before the checkpoint comes through.
Yeah, feeling pretty good about that. They going low. Has to pop the Primal. There's the rally, Scott, from Xerneas. EMP from Hisu just around the corner. 15% away as Fate is juggling Xerneas around. So no one gets afflicted with that overhealth. I hear a blade going off right now, but it looks like Jinmu shut down yet again. These blades are just not finding value at all. His Iris is permanently above 200 HP with that overhealth. There's nothing stopping a Brig and an Ana sitting on top of each other, man. Like, you nade yourself, that Inspire healing plus the overhealth. No one's killing you.
And I'm pretty sure that was another slept blade by Iris onto Jinmu. So that's just big plays from Iris time and time again. Yeah, Jinmu needs to switch. Genji doesn't work in a Winston Tracer Sombra meta. There's just too many threats for you. Early EMP from Hisu takes down both the backliners of the charge.
Wow. All right. Do not extend the death period here. Yeah, just die on the point, stall the bot. For as long as you can, I suppose. Just you have to get a clean reset. I mean, the Dragons are going to take lead. Oh, I mean, Jimu's here. Yeah, no, there's lead. There's checkpoint 2. Dragons with a really early EMP. Viper can get another stagger kill here as well.
And you can see Jinmu has to switch off of the Genji onto the Tracer, something he's not that comfortable on. Early nano onto Fate, putting more pressure onto the backline.
Bubble split heals. Xerneas down 2. Viper the double. He's got fist that could rival Mike Tyson.
Well, let's not go too far, but they do trade the backlines as well, as Jimmy and Gaga do get into backline. Gaga does have to pop the Primal Rage. He's pushing Fate around, and this should be the Guangzhou Charge stabilizing, as Gaga looks like he wants to make a swap.
Switch? JQ? Okay. Oh, honestly? Honestly?
That's interesting, because Gaga's wanted to play Winston this whole series, wanted to stray away from playing the Junker Queen, playing the Rush, but now he's finally got his wish, and they're in a Winston mirror, decides better against it.
Smart from Jimmy there, who was trying to get a bin down for a long period, and no one had heard or seen Hisu. Pulse bomb. Oh, Viper in trouble. Nano boost forced, though. 1-for-1 trade on the ultimate.
Oh, nice.
A nice stick by Jinmu. Alrighty. Now we're on the Tracer. Now we're cooking. Big sleep onto Fate. Also antied as he's in the Primal. No armor. Not a lot of health remaining either. Free ultimate charge for the backline, I suppose, but that's about it. Gracie misses. Jimmy dead. Gangnam Jim in a little bit of trouble holding that shield, but I mean, trading DPS is good here for the Charge. They do manage to get butt scratched. They do get checkpoint. Both rallies pop too.
But Gangnam Jin left Iris behind, so Gangnam Jin is going aggressive. He did find a trade onto Farway, but he lost his support duo. Now Gangnam Jin is also fallen. No healing. Guangzhou Charge, they've taken the lead. And now they're getting more progress as well, Jack.
They got the lead, yeah. That's the important thing, especially at this point of the game. It's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Every single meter counts for the Guangzhou Charge right now. They want to knock Dragons out of this season completely. And it's looking very much like that now. Look, with 80 plus meters, there's no touches. There's no touches. EMP from Hisu is going to be decent. Manual hack onto Gaga. He can follow this up with an EMP if he wants to. There it is. Boom. Straight on top of Xerneas. Xerneas stepping up once again. Way too far. EMP came out straight after that. Suzu from far away. Perfectly timed by Hisu. And they find the team wipe almost. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go now. The Dragons need to come back with some sort of crazy play. Because right now, they're staring down the barrel of what? A Rampage, an EMP, a Pulse Bomb. This is looking disastrous for Dragons.
And Hisu just trying to come up with any answers, trying to do something different. Switches over to the Soldier, maybe just favoring that consistent damage because there's not going to be any Winston that's going to be able to get on top of them. But they're walking into Jimmy, who has the EMP, just solo EMP's fate, and they're going to get him.
Yeah, why not? At this point, you might as well. You know you can guarantee yourself a kill onto the Winston, so Tracer can't get an into the back line. I mean, good luck as well. Faraway playing the Kiriko and Xerneas playing the Brig. Minute to go, Scott. Dragons' life is on the line currently. They can be knocked out of the 2023 season right here, right now. Pulse Bomb's good. Oh, the Nano Boost.
Saves him.
Nano Boost. Jimbo in trouble. Oh, tries to get the melee kill. Okay, a little bit far away. You haven't got Commando Pro, son. I mean, this Rampage is going to be huge, too. They're just stalling time. Perfect play right now from the Guangzhou Charge, Scott. I mean, Gaga's just a nuisance. Dude's in no man's land right now. Might as well be in Madagascar.
Gangnam Jin's alone as well.
The Gaga taking a lot of damage. There's the Rampage. Just trying to Gangnam Jin. 10% away from that rally, but does manage to stay alive somehow, some way. Gaga doesn't manage to pick up the kill, but Jinmu definitely does. 30 seconds to go. Rally. Every ultimate being thrown in right now by the Charge to keep control of that bot. Hisu dead. And the Dragons looking like they're on their final limb here. They need to be able to touch that bot, Scott. It is in the middle of the map right now, but Iris has also fallen to far away. The backline for the Charge is too indestructible.
Fate goes over the Junko and Gaga goes over to the Winston. What am I even watching right now? But it doesn't matter because 6 seconds remaining. Shanghai Dragons, they're going to need to make a monstrous push all the way across the map to keep their lives of the Overwatch League 2023 season alive.
One pick here could be disaster. You got to be careful. Hisu's got the visor. Maybe just back out right now. Oh, Gracie. Close one.
Oh, huge Suzu.
Misses. Visor coming in. Hisu already low. Gets naded. Is kept alive. They're going to need to push on right here. Jinmu ends up going down, but they're using every single ultimate that they have. They've only got the rally now, Scott.
And it's important to know overtime spawns are so long, so any pick that happens from here on out is going to be disastrous for the Charge. They need to regroup and stabilize, take one more effective fight on the back of Jimmy's EMP.
EMP straight behind the back line. Okay, a big kill onto Gaga is going to be good. No,
they're so split though, Jack.
Right now, and they are so split, yes, but look at the meterage. 30 meters needs to be claimed by the Dragons in order to take the lead.
Yeah, so they're going to wait. You can see the backline of Guangzhou Charge. They're hanging out.
The solo EMP! The solo EMP on Gangnam Jin! They managed to take him out. The post bomb on the 4 for Jinmu doesn't find the connection onto Iris, but it might not even be needed to be fair. The sound barrier, the shout coming through from Fate to make sure they can survive too. Hisu with the nano, he's playing in the rush though.
It's just so much damage. It's just an absolute brawl on the point. Who's coming out on top? Guangzhou Charge got a couple of picks.
Up big. Jinmu just trying to dance around the point right now, but no, Fate finds the kill. Shanghai Dragons, a miracle has been afforded by them. 86 meters and counting as Gaga comes back on the Doomfist. Faraway and Xerneas will be back in just a moment's notice, but they need one pick. They need one pick right now. Iris on the Moira to try and get back, but no, Gaga is dead. Viper's got the pulse bomb in his hands as well, but no touches. On map number 5, a 30-meter disadvantage from the Shanghai Dragons. They still managed to come back.
It's just a fumble by the Guangzhou Charge, just not able to stabilize. They were just all over the map. Everyone trying to win the map on their own, not coordinating as a unit. And the Shanghai Dragons masterfully picking them off one by one, not losing their cool, staying around the bot. And they live out to take themselves to a map 5 and keep their season alive.
There is no way the Charge have not won a game in 2 months. The Shanghai Dragons want to reclaim some of their former glory. One team is going to be eliminated off this next map. We're going to a map number 5. Cinema is being created in front of your very eyes. Do not go anywhere. It's like The Notebook directed by Michael Bay. A true love story just filled with explosions, pure panic, terror on people's faces, and clutch sleeps. I mean, this is just pure indulgence at the highest level right now, Scott, for any Overwatch viewer that is currently tuning in. Shanghai Dragons and the Guangzhou Charge going to a map number 5. We're going to Dorado as the map, and that was the pick by the Charge.
Dorado is going to be an interesting map. Funnily enough, it's a Winston map, which apparently is very prominent in this series so far, so we could see both teams going in that direction. Feels like Gaga wanted to play the Winston. Once Fate matched them, they went over to the Junker Queen, and then as soon as Fate went to the Junker Queen, Gaga went over to the Winston. So Gaga just doesn't want to be in these mirror matchups, trying to always counter the opposite, but on Dorado, a map with so much high ground, the Winston might almost be necessary for both of these teams, so it might end up just a skill matchup toe-to-toe, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. We could see some Genji play, even some Widowmaker. It would be poetic for the Guangzhou Charge to put all their eggs in the Jimmy Widowmaker basket.
Why is that going to happen, man? But you can't, oh man, you also, I mean, Jimmy has also just been an absolute terror to the backline. I mean, there's Tracers, Genji's looking good. Farway's hitting nades, man. As long as Farway's playing Ana, I think anything's possible.
Yeah. But even Iris had some big plays against the blades of Jinmu in that series, able to get big clutch sleeps, shut down 2 of his blades, and that was, you know, one of the reasons that the Shanghai Dragons even held on for dear life, gave them that extra sort of hold that potentially was the difference maker for them coming back in that map.
Well, here we go. Dorado, final map. One team is going to go home. Their 2023 Overwatch League journey is going to come to an end. Will it be the Dragons or will it be the Charge? We'll find out in just a moment. Looks like Charge are defending first here. Not sure that's the comp they're going to roll out with. I'm going to be...
Oh, it is. They have to.
I'm sorry. What am I seeing? What am I seeing on a map number 5? A Lari... Soj with Mercy Pocket and Torb.
The Mercy, I love everything about this composition except the Xerneas Mercy that comes out of nowhere. Fate goes over to the Wrecking Ball. This has actually been a pick we've seen some of the teams picking up lately, especially in the APAC region. You're able to roll around, get a lot of effective slams, and just sort of be disruptive and a nuisance, and that opens the door for Viper to do exactly that.
Man, Viper is so good at hitting like the edge dashes, you know, like right on the edge of the dash, hitting with the damage, and then when he finishes the dash, he hits him with a right click. And he's so good at that, judging that distance perfectly. I mean, this defense from the Charge, man. I'm gonna say it. I don't like it at all. I mean,
I don't understand the Mercy. It didn't work last time. So
he's actually okay. He's changing that. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, real comps coming in.
Wholesale swap. Literally 5 swaps coming out from the Guangzhou Charge. Go over to the Junker Queen Rush to deal with this Sombra Wrecking Ball setup for the Shanghai Dragons. And it's worth noting, Fate on his signature Wrecking Ball, his best hero, could be a big boon. Great Suzu.
Nice Suzu. Yeah, Farway here, everybody with the invulnerability there, so the slam didn't do any damage.
You can see them just putting on a ton of pressure. The Guangzhou Charge are trying to get onto the backline of the Dragons, but they just can't get there without falling.
Sure. Of course, Viper just comes up with 2 picks, one of them being on a flying character. Oh, well, head stuck in terrain there. Rest in peace. All good. Wow, this is reminding me of Eichenwalder, I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar vibes where it feels like the Guangzhou Charge try to do something a little offbeat, do something a little unique, and now it just doesn't feel like it's working. So they're scrambling for answers. Jimmy goes back over to the Sojin, and you have to question, what is the reasoning for this Junker Queen? What is your win condition when you make this swap? Their only target that they can run down is Iris, and you saw them attempt that, and Viper absolutely eviscerated them. So as soon as they try and jump off of this high ground, he's just going to be here with an EMP.
Nice kill into Iris, though. Nano Blade matched with Beat. Viper still doing damage, though. Oh, he does not care about your sound barrier, Xerneas. Jeez, everybody grouped up in that small room. That's 3 damage for the dash and just the regular swings. Jimmy, I mean, Jinmu's sorry, just wondering what the hell happened to the rest of his team.
Yeah, just getting absolutely destroyed right now. And the Shanghai Dragons are rolling on this attack so far. Hisu didn't even have to use the EMP. You can see Jimmu trying to find Hisu, and he's behind him the whole time.
Suzu comes out. Oh no, ultimate still for the Guangzhou Charge, Scott. They just gotta pull him. Just gotta go.
As soon as they go though, they're gonna get hit by an EMP. It's so difficult.
Well, Hisu's waiting. He's chilling on high ground. There's the EMP. Xerneas gets the whip shot off just before he gets taken out. So that was okay. Didn't get hacked out of the consideration, although that can happen. Nice duplication by Jimmu. Swaps into the Ana, gets a nice little anti-nade down. Now we can just dish out damage. Ana player's dream.
He's just hitting all the hip fires as well. Gets the nano boost on the Gaga.
Bro. Jeez.
The Shanghai Dragons are just not going away. They're just so sustainable, and you can see how Fate is just so annoying to deal with as the Wrecking Ball. Xerneas has switched over to the Brig to potentially sort of mitigate some of that pressure that Fate's going to be putting out. And they have finally stabilized. Shanghai Dragons' ultimate's finally running out. So now how does Shanghai Dragons reapproach into this? They've allowed Iris to get over to this coast side high ground. Jimmu's looking for him.
It's kind of a deadly high ground for Urana to be on. Oh, nice prediction on the stickies. Can't quite... Oh! No, can't quite get the Tracer. Viper escapes. Hisu thought he got discovered, but... Fate just rolling over Jimmy as everybody was distracted by Hisu trying to hack them manually in the back line. Well, there you go. Another couple of kills. Stabilization now for the Charge.
And you're starting to see the cracks in the composition of the Shanghai Dragons. They're everywhere and they're putting on a lot of pressure, but they're just not able to take down the Guangzhou Charge, and they're the ones who are getting picked time and time again. And Gaga's been holding on to this rampage for what feels like
who's the user on?
The entire round. Because, yeah, who does he use it on? He has to wait for the Suzu to come out from Gangnam Jin. He has to find multiple targets, but with how spread out the Dragons are, it's going to be difficult. He switches over to the Winston. Maybe to give a more direct pressure, he can get the nano boost as well. Oh my god, almost takes out Viper with those tri shots from across the map.
Kind of insane damage. Like you said, rampage available. Hisu, manual hack? No, nano boost comes out. Xerneas almost got manually hacked, but nano boost on Fate is good. Good for time at least. For the Guangzhou Charge, they're going to be able to buy a lot with that one. Yep, Gaga hit 0 people with that one. Rest in peace. Oh, hello.
Iris? You don't want to be there.
Iris just jumps down into Gaga. His waiting arms. Oh, Jimmy's got the copy as well. Jimmy using this overclock. And that is going to be the Dragons scattering. So many ults used by the Charge in that fight, Scott. But we're almost in final fight territory. Like 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, 45 seconds, only one fight for the Dragons. The best case scenario is that Guangzhou Charge did use 4 of their ultimates to hold onto that fight, so it's only Jimmu with the duplicate, and you have a lot of ultimates coming up. If Hisu can get to this EMP, that could be the thing that breaks the back of the Guangzhou Charge on the second point hold.
He's charging them kind of slow, though, because he's like waiting around a lot of the time. Back onto Jinmu.
Point.
Duplication. Point needs to be touched. All good. Jinmu's got it. 15 seconds to go. Primaration from Fate has been popped. Jimmy's still holding down the point. But Fate has other plans and is just finding Mr. Jimmy, who's getting perma-pocketed by both Farway and Xerneas. All good, though. Oh, I'm sorry. That was an insane duplication there from Jimmy. Perfectly timed. Oh, kind of perfectly timed it with that sleep. Didn't end up dodging it. Overtime is here. Kills are coming through from the Dragons. Hisu finds 2, and they finally got that payload going. Third point unlocked, or at least the attempt at third point being unlocked. 1 minute and 25 seconds to go, Scott. That was a messy fight. Yeah,
Shanghai Dragons just coming out on top. The Winston swap paying off a little bit more for them on the second point as Jinmu goes back over to the Torbjorn. It's a first and third point. Nevermind goes over to the Genji as Jinmu can't decide what he wants to play in this situation. Fate goes over to the Orisa. Now we're on this third point. We're back indoors. People don't want to be playing these dive compositions and these fast ones. They want to play sustainable heroes. Fate's just going to anchor on this point, giving space to Hisu, who's going to be able to shoot, try and find some picks.
It's going to be tough for the Orisas to do much here, Scott.
The Orisa's job is to literally just stand here and remain a threat and do not die. Gangnam Jin finds Jimmy of all people.
Must have got help from Hisu or somebody. Far away on the high ground. Nice nade. Hisu dead. And
Nice sleep.
And the nade. And the sleep onto Viper too. Wow. Far away. What a beast.
He's had a great series so far. Big value sleeps time and time again. 20 seconds remaining. Shanghai Dragons once again backs against the wall. They need to find something. They have a Kitsune rush coming up, but that's pretty much it. And they're engaging into a Gaga rampage. And even Xerneas has the rally to give their team the extra health. This is so difficult for the Dragons.
They could even get an Ana Blade, Scott. I'm just saying. 20% each for the Genji and the Ana. Jimmy
True.
pretty low. Jimmy's still playing on the point. You don't really want it to go around this corner and go. Ganajin just dies with ult. Dies with ult to Jimmy across the map. Iris in trouble. Axe swing over the top. Okay, Gaga not quite tall enough to get over that one, unfortunately. Rampage still in the hands. Jimmy, nano boost, has got the blade. Hisu in trouble. One slash will do it to him. There you go. Iris drops down to the ground, but Jimmy hot on his trail. A nice little double slash onto the Ana, and that will be the hold for the charge. 48 meters going into that third point. The Shanghai Dragons, they are in a rough spot. The charge, once again, Scott, feeling like they're going to come alive, and they have done. It honestly feels like obviously the series has just been Shanghai Dragons win, Charge win, Dragons win, Charge win, Dragons win, Charge win, Dragons win. But it just feels like right now, it is the Charge's turn, right? It is their turn to start popping off. This hold is magical, especially on this final corner, Scott. A tough place for the defenders to actually hunker down.
That's it, right? Like the third point is just that. Look at where the card is. That's not very far at all. That's awful
spot to be in.
If you're the Shanghai Dragons, you almost have to assume we need to hold on the second point. That is where they need to at least make their stand. You know, Shanghai Dragons, the Wrecking Ball composition can be better on defense because the ball has more freedom to choose when they want to engage, when they want to get their slams. And on the other side, it's going to be very difficult for Jimmy to find angles as this Ashe. Could almost see him go over to the Widowmaker. I'm kind of trying to manifest the Jimmy Widowmaker at the final hours, but we'll see if he's willing to do it.
The Jimmy Maker.
The thing of legends.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, him against Hisu, that would be a highlight to end all highlights, I think. Gaga on the Orisa. Right, so they're just going the Sim Bastion. Okay, TP to high ground. They see it. Where's the anti-nade? Nowhere to be found. Uh-oh, and they're just going to chase down Iris. Yep, I think a spear landed on him too. I saw a little stun indication. Compositional. Feels like a little bit of a compositional mismatch right now for the Dragons. Feels like they're going to have to swap at some point.
And what the Charge are playing is very common to what we see and played in the West all the time. It's just a very high damage output that's very difficult to kill because of just the amount of healing and sustainability that it has. And Guangzhou Charge hasn't shown this the entire series, so final pocket pick, and they're just using TPs to push away the Dragons every time they step up.
Who's Hisu going to headshot, really, right? I mean, obviously, Jimmy and Farway and Xerneas are the best targets, but it's so tough to get it down because they're just permanently moving with this teleport. Yeah,
there they go again.
Oh, goodbye, Iris. Xerneas falls. Viper gets 2. All right.
Yeah.
Well, he's under trouble. And you saw Farway peeking his little head up there. I think Viper just saved the day, Scott. Nice little double kill. Oh, Farway. Sure, why not?
Viper save the day should be the Shanghai Dragons mantra at this point, because the Echo is expected to be doing tons of damage. The Guangzhou Charge, they're trying to TP around, they're sticking around. So much value can be made from those sticky bombs, and that's why Viper already has the duplication, and Guangzhou Charge already making swaps. That's a minute and a half off the clock that they've essentially wasted because of where the card only is. No ult charge across the board because every single player on the Charge swapped. They're going to have to hope that this one ultimate cycle will get them across the line.
Should go without saying, right? Oh, nice headshot. Should go without saying right now, Viper is the best player on the Shanghai Dragons currently. For sure. Duplication available for him. Like you said, Scott. Earned it pretty early. Fire in trouble. Dodges the sleep. Then taking a bit of damage and oversteps his mark, but they do trade again. Like with Gaga dead, like that's a good trade for the Dragons.
Yeah, you're more than happy to make that trade. Viper didn't even want to use the duplication there. Gaga not being there. They're not going to be able to engage. Jimmu cannot fall. That's another stagger that they cannot afford.
Well, Gaga's back. All good. Oh, Hisu. Oh, my word. Got worked in the neutral there by Jinmu. Here comes the rally. They're going to try and hold on. Gaga dead again. Nano boost onto Jinmu. He's 10% away towards that blade, but he's got to fight through this overhealth and the extra armor from Gangnam Jimmy. He's just throwing right clicks at that guy, but it is doing negative damage. Duplication for Viper on the Genji. He's going to prove and show Jinmu how it's done. Not quite, though. There's the blade up the high ground. Hisu dead. Comes back from spawn. Instantly falls. Jinmu ends up falling to Iris. Just gets punched in the jaw. 1 minute to go.
So
scrappy
clutch.
fight. Fate so low. Ends up touching that point. Iris with a clutch kill onto the blade, but I think the damage has already been done there, Scott. Man, it is just the Viper Jinmu show currently in this series.
By the skin of their teeth, the Guangzhou Charge are able to get that fight, and they needed it. They committed the EMP, the blade. If they did not close out that fight, it was unlikely they were going to get another one. So now the Shanghai Dragons, they burnt off a lot of time, so Charge only have 3 minutes to get through this second checkpoint, and we remember what we said. The Shanghai Dragons really need to hold them on the second point because they don't have much meterage to hold on the third.
Thing is, they're in the same predicament, Scott. They have the Genji, Viper's on the Tracer. It's such a hard comp to play into as the Genji. Like, Jinmu has to go nuclear, but it's going to be so... Look, hey guys, how's it going? Can I do some damage to you? No, instantly hack. Oh, can I use some damage? No, Winston. You know? It's just so hard.
But if anyone's going to make it happen, it's going to be Jinmu. He's already done it so far on that first point. He opened the door, gave Charge another lifeline. He's charging up another pretty quick blade. Iris getting low.
Iris is 1 HP. Iris is 1 HP. Please pack. I think he did get one. Yes, he did. Here's the Primal Rage. Sleep Dart misses. He's in the back line, doing a little 360. 2k DPR as he jumps back in. There's the Nano Boost onto Fate, and now Jinmu's in trouble. He can't do much more now, Scott. He is in the grave. 2 minutes to go. Dragons win the next fight.
That was an important slowdown. Farway also getting a little bit staggered for the Shanghai Dragons, and Gaga. Every time Fate goes over to the Winston, Gaga says, I'm going Junker Queen, which I like the idea of, right, conceptually. But on a map like Dorado, what do you do as Junker Queen? You're going to be stuck on the low ground. Let's see if this gamble is going to pay off for Gaga. It didn't on New Queen Street.
And even if they do make their way up to the high ground, they're walking as a group, and that EMP for Hisu is going to be all the more juicy.
And Dragons have ultimates to work with as well. Hisu has the EMP, Fate with the Primal Rage.
But
they
Jimmy's
have
got
answers.
They're looking. He's looking for a way to get in right now. He knows where the supports are on the back line. Iris just hacked as well for a moment. Okay, now he's down the low ground. Hisu, though, goes first, pops that EMP, but the rally comes out. Nano boost onto Xerneas too. Infinite health, infinite sustain for the rest of the squad if they can just keep themselves alive. No nano for Jimmy, but he might not need it to be fair. Late rally for Gangnam Jim as Fate pops the Primal Rage, trying to take down the backline as that rally wears off. Far away dead to the Goomba Stomp of Fate. And now he's on the high ground chasing away Jimmy. 59 seconds to go for the charge. They pop the blade, but immediately shut down. No nano, no health, no damage. Charge on their last limbs now.
And Gaga just isn't able to do anything. He's just trying to find a target. And they just staggered all of their ultimates. They had to nano Xerneas to keep him alive, but that Xerneas also used the rally, so they didn't have the nano for the Jinmu blade, so it just didn't accomplish anything. Now 30 seconds remaining for the Guangzhou Charge, and it has to be the Jimmy EMP. It has to open the door for the rest of the team. Gaga is coming up to a rampage as well.
The Jimmy EMP. It's got to hit. It's got to land. Translocator replaced onto the Mega Health Pack. 19 seconds to go. Do not see 9 or I will scream. Nano Boost available for Iris. He's on the high ground on the far back. So Jimmy hitting an EMP here is going to be a miracle if he manages to get this one at a decent angle.
He wants to do on a Fate.
EMP. He's looking for it. Fate jumps in. EMP instantly nano by Iris. But instantly taken down. Jimmy with the destruction of the beam. He was under 50% HP, so took all that additional damage. That nano boost just torn to shreds, and Iris also falls. OT for the charge as they push onto the second point. It's going to be Viper on the sidelines with a pulse bomb coming up, but Gangnam Jin ends up going down. A big reset for the Dragons now as their life is held in the balance. The charge and the Dragons just at loggerheads. If the charge can get the high ground, if they can control this first fight, they could just take it away from the Dragons.
Fate had such a false sense of security with the nano boost, but it was just too much damage with the EMP. Minute 15 here for the Guangzhou Charge. As we said, they don't have to push it very far, so the Shanghai Dragons are going to have to play aggressive. Fate needs to stay alive.
He's got Rampage.
Oh,
it hits a four-man Rampage from Gaga. The point is still moving. Someone from the Shanghai Dragons has to touch the point, but Gaga kills 2. 3 for Gaga. 58 seconds to go, and the Shanghai Dragons have 1 person remaining. It is Viper. Lays down the postman, but can't get back to the point in time. The Shanghai Dragons, they're going to lose their lives. They're going to lose their chance at the playoffs. Their 2023 season has come to an end as the Guangzhou Charge, after 2 months of losing games, they finally find the win that matters. They make it into the next round of the play-ins, knocking the Shanghai Dragons out of the Overwatch League 2023 season.
You can physically see the Charge players breathe a sigh of relief. It was close. They should have won New Queen Street. It was on a knife's edge on the first point, on the second point. It wasn't pretty, but it got them across the line. Guangzhou Charge will continue to fight to make their run to the Toronto playoffs, and they keep their season alive.
An unbelievable finish from the Guangzhou Charge. They hadn't won a game in 2 months, and this is the one they needed to win. A Map 5 pure cinema series. Player of the match for this one. Who's really surprised? Jin Moo. I mean, look, we wanted to give it to Jimmy. We really did. But this guy played his heart out on the Genji, Scott.
Yeah, and he was the difference maker. He came up with magic multiple times. Like, just clutch plays on the Genji. His Blaze just always coming up with some form of value, but also just winning in the neutral against Viper. The player that we hyped up coming into this series, Viper is the X factor for the Shanghai Dragons, and Jinmu took that personally, and he shut them down. And he did it on the Sombra, got tons of value. Also went over to the Tracer, the Echo. Just honestly, the Jinmu mystery hero is paying off in this series.
An absolute masterclass on every hero he pulled out in this series. That is for sure. My goodness. The Guangzhou Charge. I just can't believe I'm saying it, man. I'm going to be honest. It looked so tough. They are the underdog. They were. And that's what we said at the start of the series, Scott. We both said they are the underdog in this series. They end up taking it to map number 5. And just clutch play after clutch play. Faraway 2. Special shout out to your boy. That guy was hitting nade after nade after nade on every single map. When he was picking that Ana, the Dragons had something to fear, and they were slain by Jinmu and Faraway.
Yeah, and honestly, just great play. The Guangzhou Charge also coming in and just being like, well, what we're doing isn't working, so why are we forcing it? Let's just play what we're good at. Let's just play our style, and it threw the Shanghai Dragons through a loop. Completely changed the storyline of how we expected this series to go. And for that reason, they are going to stay alive.
Insane. There's going to be
crazy game.
No
crazy
interview,
series.
Sadly. But that is the Guangzhou Charge making it through the lower bracket, knocking the Dragons out of the Overwatch League 2023 play-ins. Dallas Fuel and the Seoul Dynasty. Another banger coming up next. We're going to take a break. Do not go anywhere. Avril and Harry will take you through that series.
Let's go.